This week's meditation theme, if you will, is regarding presence. And that's, of course, every week's theme, but we have a bit of a bigger, broader theme of presence today. Normally, we're focusing on our bodies and our breath. We're going to actually use our environment today and then ultimately finish with our senses in order to find presence. Just before we begin, if anyone ever would like to have music playing, feel free to grab, your favorite playlist, or if you have any instrumental music that you really like, you can have that off to the side. If there's ever any smells, I love to use essential oils. So like the one I use today is doTERRA's Breathe for respiratory support. That's a really nice way to become present and really drop in. If you like to use an oil or you have a scent that you love, I recommend getting it really warm in your palms. Put a drop or two in your palm, and then you'd want to cover your face with it. Close your eyes so the fumes don't burn your eyes when you're breathing, but then try 5 long, slow. So it would be like a breaths with that scent if you happen to have oils. So, those are just nice ways to get our atmosphere ready for our meditation that I wanted to share today. When you are ready to get settled with me, please find your way on back to your area if you happen to have a place that you like to go for your meditation. And if you don't, if you have to stay in your desk chair, that's totally fine. So, I just literally pulled a couch cushion off the couch. And then today, I switched up my meditation blanket and I have this old rug that happens to be really soft. So it doesn't have to be fancy. If you're in your desk chair still, I ask you to possibly remove your socks if it's not too chilly where you are and just try to get your feet grounded if you're in a chair. If you're on the floor, it's a little bit easier because you naturally tend to ground at least somewhere in your body. And my favorite thing to envision is like a bird feathering their nest, putting the feathers all around, or like a dog if you have pets. They like scratch before they lay down. I like to think about that as I get settled. So it's just a whole bunch of movement to get really cozy in your spot. And then if you tend to get uncomfortable and fidgety after a few minutes, try not to fight that. Just literally lean yourself back, uncross, recross, whatever you need to continue coming back to the practice. When you have gotten adjusted, let's take a few neck rolls before we begin so that we can settle nicely today. Trying to lift from the back of our ribs, sitting our spine up really tall, and then whatever works for your neck, especially if it's tight, go slowly. It might just be a little ear drop to one shoulder, come back to center, and then try the other side. If you feel loose in your neck, or maybe you've already stretched, you could try some semicircles or full circles. And then I love to look over shoulders. Try to really stretch your chin around the corner, soften your jaw. Eye gaze over the other shoulder. And then give yourself some shrugs of your shoulders. Literally shrug them, shoulders up towards your ears. Just kind of think about like shake, shake, shake it off, kind of tension release. Get a little bit bigger, move your elbows a bit. Try some shoulder circles. If you feel good, you can make big ones. And then just a couple more breaths, beginning to notice how your breath is flowing as you circle or shrug, whatever's feeling good today. And when your body feels a little bit looser, we're going to stay still. As you're getting settled, I always love to turn my palms up, at least in the beginning. It's just a way to bring in, to receive, accept, or ask for good energy, good vibes from our meditation. But if you're feeling very stimulated or caffeinated this morning and you need to ground, then you can turn your palms down. Most importantly, as we're getting adjusted, let's try to lift long through the spines. So we want to sit tall with beautiful posture. You can also lie, or you can rest against a wall. But we don't want to be rigid. And then when you're ready, starting to drop into our meditation by softening our eye gaze. If it feels comfortable in your room, you can close your eyes completely. That's really wonderful to block out stimulation. If you feel like you need to keep your eyes open a bit, just try to soften your eye gaze lower to something still and unmoving. And if possible, close them into little slits so that everything gets blurry and a little unfocused. A wonderful way to begin to calm yourself. Let's begin to observe our breath. It might be the first time that we've noticed this very habitual, beautiful constant that we have. As we're observing, we might be noticing breath or cool threads of breath coming in through our nostrils. Can we feel this breath pass in and out of our throats? Do you possibly notice your chest expanding and contracting? Maybe even if we're used to breathing in deep and finding it quickly, we feel down in our bellies a rise and a fall. Observing and noticing. Let's have an honest moment to check in with ourselves and determine how we feel. Noticing the sensations that are attached to this moment in time. Let's rest our awareness not only on ourselves today, but on our immediate environment. Is there anything distracting you? Be honest with your emotions. It's okay. Any way that we feel, however we are in this very moment, is exactly as it should be. We accept sensations, feelings, and emotion with compassion, empathy, and kindness. And then we'll kindly ask our inner judge, our inner critic, to have less influence over us, especially during this time of softness as we try to find grace and ease. It's very normal if you try to sit for your meditation and you become annoyed or you're still feeling energized. Possibly you feel neutral, a whole lot of nothing, or you may feel really serene. Any way you feel is perfect. Finding breath. Taking a moment to be a very careful observer. See it. Feel it. See if you can find the edges and the curves of your breath. My favorite thing to find is the little pause in between the in-breath and the out-breath. There's this perfect moment of stillness that's so beautiful to find. And as you continue contemplating your current environment and your situation, what sensations are present in and around your body? These could have a direct correlation to your mood, how you're feeling, those emotions we tapped into earlier. So if I were feeling really eclectic and excited, a little all over the place, I might feel some buzzing or some warmth somewhere. On the opposite end of things, if I were feeling really serene or maybe neutral, I might just feel heavy. I might feel relaxed. A little bit of a slower pace. Not judging, just noticing, being present in what is. What are the circumstances that brought you right here, right now? What are you hoping to achieve? What are we looking to let go of or possibly make space for? Oftentimes, there's something stressful in our lives that we need to sit with a little bit longer than one meditation practice, but breathing into it, creating the space for it, allowing feelings, emotions, and sensations to come and go. Eventually, we work enough that we can work through it, possibly even releasing it from our bodies or our minds. Is there anything that you can hear in the foreground or the background of your awareness? So this could be mental chatter. It could be a replay of a conversation or a situation, or it could be something a bit further from your mind. Maybe some pitter patter of little footsteps or paws in your home, something happening outside your walls, some beautiful sounds in nature. And so we're cultivating this sense of presence today, not just with our breath like we normally do, which is absolutely beautiful and wonderful, but also by being so present in what's happening right here. The noises, can we identify them without attaching a story to them? Are there sounds that make you feel soothed and calm? It could be something so simple as a hum of a refrigerator. Simply noticing, letting what is be, seeing and hearing all of this with kindness and compassion. And this is such a true moment of self-love, the time you've given yourself today to unwind, unravel tightness, relax, release, as well as rejuvenate. We don't have to search for love. We are love. So we just have to let it flow like our breath does. We don't have to chase love or happiness. We just have to slow down enough for it to catch up with us. When we establish this presence, it is self-love, ultimately finding happiness within our bodies. When we learn how to quickly drop into the present moment for what is really true right here and right now. Now, this morning in our time together, as you breathe, I'd like to pose a series of questions to you to help you stay present here with me. Try not to criticize or judge. Remember, we kindly asked our inner critic earlier just to be a little more free, a little more loose, possibly take a big step back. We don't even need to analyze anything. We're just going to simply let answers come from within, and they possibly may not come at all. We're just going to take a moment and ponder the following. Let's take a big breath in and out before we begin. Possibly an open mouth exhalation, allowing things to release, stale, stagnant air, letting go. Who are you without all of the details we just noticed? Without everything in this very moment that we just contemplated, who are you? Without your job, your partner, kids, without your pets, your name, your knowledge, without your concerns and your worries, your hopes and your desires, your to-do list, all the sensations we noticed, without your goals and ambitions, without your ethnicity, your sexual orientation, or your physical human body. Who are you? Who or what is the witness to all of these things that we notice? And then what is this witness state made of? What is the raw material that is your essence, your spirit? Who are you deep within? Reconnecting with breath, giving your moment to ponder, a really big, beautiful inspiration. A little bit more space to contemplate that. And Then a long sigh of exhalation. Staying with this moment if lots of answers are arising. But just know that your essence, your spirit, its mission is to inspire you, to reassure you, and to remind you to help you be the very best version of yourself. In moments like these, in your quietest times, it is here to engage you, to understand your source directly. That's a pretty beautiful thing, and why love and happiness tends to catch up with us when we take time for self-care, such as breathing, meditation, and being in the present moment. And then a little exercise today to keep us here. Some things that you can do no matter where you are in the world, no matter what time it is or what's going on around you. We're going to focus our breath and our presence in our senses, our actual senses. Let's revisit noticing how the breath moves. So again, feeling possibly nostrils, throat, chest, or belly. My hope for you is that your heart feels a little bit fuller with breath. It might be smiling with happiness now that you've given it some space, opening up. And ideally, when we finish our practice at the end, we feel like we've gotten a bit longer, a bit deeper, a bit wider with this breath that we're focusing on. Noticing how it moves, let's all try to take a big, beautiful inhalation deeply together now. And then releasing through your facial muscles, especially your bottom jaw from the top, slowly, really softly exhale, like a whisper, like a soft sigh. Now, if your eyes are closed, take a moment to really slowly crack them open or open them a bit wider if they were like a slit. We're actually going to allow our eyes to wander around your physical surroundings and notice what you see. So a nice eye exercise too, kind of like eye yoga. I like to move my eyes all over. Might want to blink them and open them a few times. We're noticing our sense of sight. And then let's take in the physical details of our spaces. If there are colors that are drawing your eye, shapes, textures, let's remind ourselves not to judge or attach a story. We're just noticing them. Then just as quickly, allow your sense of sight to re-soften. Reclosing or returning to that really soft gaze. I like to use the bridge of my nose. I try to look right down the bridge of my nose, off the tip of it, and then I close my eyes to little slits so everything gets really soft and hazy, allowing you to block out that stimulation. Now, as we started to block out our sense of sight, noticing that our other senses start to heighten. Please begin to tune into the sounds that you can pick up. Doesn't matter whether it's inside your space, something you were really attached to earlier, like that hum of one of our electronics, or possibly something big like an appliance. That's always really soothing as a constant in the background once you notice it. Or something more beautiful like a bird chirping outside your window. We're not assigning any good or bad qualities to these sounds or whatever it is that you're hearing. We're just listening. I love to see if I can listen close enough that I can open my ears. I see that happening. I feel that happening. Really becoming in touch with your sense of sound. And then start to soften You could literally envision your earlobes getting heavier, the outer edge of your ear softening down, and even your inner ear getting really heavy, like the basket of a parachute landing. When you're ready, let's move on to our sense of smell. No judgments, no stories, noticing the sense of smell in our environments, or it could be something like the products that you have on your body or in your hair. Maybe the oil, we took some really nice long breaths in earlier if you had that. Along with smell, let's observe any lingering sense of taste of food or drink in our mouth, or any products we may have on our lips. And as we bring awareness to these senses of smell and taste, let's begin to soften. Soften the hinge of your jaw and all the muscles of your face. You could take a little twitch of your nose, like wiggle it around for a second, then really begin to soften through your nostrils, through the bridge of your nose, inside and outside. Let your lips part and your tongue rest heavily on the back of your bottom teeth. And I love when we relax the muscles of our face because it's something we tend to hold on to without ever noticing it. So I'm hoping that you felt a really big shift right there, a big sigh, a big sense of release as you let go through your facial features. We may have also felt that release continue down. I usually get such a good sense of relaxation when I let my jaw go that my shoulders will also release. Possibly all the way down in towards your hands and your fingers. And it's okay if you didn't notice that. You can repeat so we can think about any areas on our face, maybe around our eyes that tend to hold a lot of tension, any storylines or these beautiful laugh lines, lines of memories, or possibly of concentration and focus. See them getting really heavy and pulling together as one smooth surface. And then let that release happen. Exhale, feeling that tension and tightness pulling down off your face. Might slip down off the back of your body and rest here heavily in the mat. We'll attempt having our bodies soft and at ease. And then notice the textures that are beneath you, whatever you are in contact with, whether it's another body part or a chair, a carpet, some hardwood floor, or a yoga mat, whatever you're sitting or leaning on. Notice temperatures. Notice the clothing against your skin. The feel of the supports around you. Possibly how your feet and ankles feel on the ground or even in the air. Things are moving around you, just noticing. And then as we begin to close our time together, we'll continue focusing on the breath, but let all of our senses wander. So we worked really hard on being present, and now it's nice to just have some free time. Let them wander. Maybe it's your eyes reopening and readjusting and re-looking at the light, feeling a little bit brighter, hopefully. If you become distracted while your senses are wandering and you stay focused on one area, just think about what sense was just heightened. Notice your sight, your hearing, your smell, your taste, and your feeling. And then re-inhale as deeply as you can, feeling our bodies move in reaction to that slow breath in. Exhale softly. Notice how the sensations and the senses change. And for our next breath in, if it feels good for you, let's meet our palms together at our heart center. Try to press our thumbs in towards our heartbeat. I always like to lift my chest a little bit like I'm offering my heart up into our thumbs. Tuck your chin towards your fingers and just take a moment to fill yourself with gratitude. Gratitude for the commitment to your practice. I'm super thankful that you were here, so my gratitude is for you today. May you feel whole. May you be healthy. May you experience profound inner peace, and may you live with ease. Until we meet again next week, namaste.